She sews the final garments, the ones worn only at the last of someone's runs through the world. The cold and formal dress of the ceremony that every life, no less than every other, eventually requires. She takes no measurements from the living, works entirely from the giving of dimensions that the family brings. On the folded paper, the specific things about the person that the dress will hold. The dressmaker of ends, sewing by night, her needle finding in the dark what light would show as the garment for the final day. The dressmaker of ends, the beautiful way. The purpose it is cut for. The cloth grows different under the shears when the end garment is intended. The particular ferment of the fabric's own response to its commission. The dressmaker of ends, sewing by night, her needle finding in the dark what light would show as the garment for the final day. The dressmaker of ends, the beautiful way. Asked if she had made her own yet, whether she had chosen the cloth and the particular color she would wear. At her own last appointment, she smiled, and the past of all her work seemed briefly visible in her face. She opened her drawer and showed me folded cloth in a gray that held neither the moth of morning nor the false brightness of denial, a color of brightness that I could not name, but immediately recognized. The dressmaker of ends, sewing by night, her needle finding in the dark what light would show as the garment for the final day. The dressmaker of ends, the beautiful way.
Become a member. Join our circle of shadows, pay less than $1 a month. Help us grow, join now.
preserved in the manner that he could make permanent what otherwise lived a single night. When he died, she found 2,000 cases of pin moths filling the spaces of the study and the attic and the cold spare room, the extraordinary gold and silver and impossible brown of decades collecting. The moth collector's widow, inheriting wings, 2,000 cases of beautiful things. He spent his life gathering from the night garden dark. The moth collector's widow, inheriting his mark. She did not know moths as he had known them, the Latin names, the particular totem of each species in its habitat, the field notes, the precise format of the collector's specific knowledge. The moth collector's widow, inheriting wings, 2,000 cases of beautiful things. He spent his life gathering from the night garden dark. The moth collector's widow, inheriting his mark.
But she knew the hours he had spent at the lamp, in the garden, the damp September evenings when he came in with the cool night air still on his skin, and the careful box of the nights gathering in his hands.
She kept the cases as she found them, every wing in its position, every moth still pinned in its specific moment of beauty, the accumulated component of his life's devotion held in her keeping now. The moth collector's widow, inheriting wings, 2,000 cases of beautiful things. He spent his life gathering from the night garden dark. The moth collector's widow, inheriting his mark.
Disaster, the singer of the alarm preceding the news by a full 2 hours, the clues of its ringing unexplained by the weight of the rope. The investigating committee declared that wind had provided the particular shared frequency vibration required to move the clapper. The admired logic of natural cause assigned and the file closed. The bell that rang itself, tolling before the fact, the warning that came without the pact of human hand to human rope to bronze. The bell that rang itself in the cold dawns. The bellkeeper who had lived beside the tower for 40 years said it was the hour that the bell had always used for what it needed to say independently that the conceited self-ringing was its oldest and most private practice. The bell that rang itself, tolling before the fact, the warning that came without the pact of human hand to human rope to bronze. The bell that rang itself in the cold dawns. I listened at the tower in the early hours of winter for the barely audible harmonic that the bell produces when it is preparing for the uses it makes of its own voice without instruction. At once the preparatory vibration, the anticipatory hum of the bronze before the full and unassisted toll, the pull of whatever moves a bell without a ringer, beginning. The bell that rang itself, tolling before the fact, the warning that came without the pact of human hand to human rope to bronze. The bell that rang itself in the cold dawns. Plays its own music in the dark after the people leave the stark and honest song of structure settling without the interference, the meddling of human presence pressing down every beat. The pipes conduct their cold conversation independently. The foundation speaks to the walls in the language of expansion and contraction, the natural mansion of the empty house, revealing its actual voice. Nocturne for the empty house, playing alone its music, the creak of settling stone, the pipes finding their own dark melody. Nocturne for the empty house, finally free. I stood in the vacated house an hour after the moving van left the power of the silence after human habitation, lifting the particular relation of a structure, breathing out after years of holding in. Nocturne for the empty house, playing alone its music, the creak of selling stone, the pipes finding their own dark melody. Nocturne for the empty house, finally free. The house had things to say that it had held. Back through the decades we had dwelled inside it, the complaints and celebrations of its structure, the patient orations of wood and brick and plaster finally unguarded. I listened for an hour to the empty houses. Nocturne, the private music, the arouses of architecture perform for no audience, the gorgeous and the dense self-restraint of a building finally alone. Nocturne for the empty house, playing alone its music, the creak of settling stone, the pipes finding their own dark melody. Nocturne for the empty house, finally free.
on vellum slightly equipped, beyond the mere conveyance of the word, the ink itself occasionally heard by those with the right kind of listening. She sources it from a maker in the old quarter of a city where the cold and ancient trade still operate behind unmarked doors, the kind of commerce that does not require advertising. The ink that speaks, flowing from the near, threshold. The ink that speaks, flowing from the nib. Each sentence a living thing, each glib or careful word amplified by the dark source. The ink that speaks, following its own dark course. The recipient of her letters always noted something beyond the content, the devoted attention the words received when read aloud, the particular quality the proud and ordinary word took on when written in her ink. I asked her what the ink was made from, and she said only from the things you cannot see, remaining in the air of rooms where much has happened, collected by the particular touch of someone who knows how to gather the residue of events. The ink that speaks, flowing from the nib. Each sentence a living thing, each glib or careful word amplified by the dark source. The ink that speaks, following its own dark course.
She was assembled from the specific climate of her losses, the particular ultimates of cold that each grief deposited in the cells, until the body itself tells the weather of its history to anyone who reads it. The November of her first grief lived in her hands, the particular code of that year's demands, still present in the way her fingers held the cup, the temperature compelled into the gesture by the decade-old weather of that loss. The woman made of weather, carrying her storms, each season of grief in the body that forms around the accumulated cold of the years. The woman made of weather, the pressure, the tears. I could read her grief history by sitting close in the cold months when the emi-soul ghost of each loss was most legible. The air around her body carrying the fair and precise meteorology of her particular history. The woman made of weather, carrying her storms, each season of grief in the body that forms around the accumulated cold of the years. The woman made of weather, the pressure, the tears. She felt the weather change in her body before the sky announced it, the study of her own internal climate, providing the most accurate and unabiding forecast she'd ever encountered. By summer she was a different country, the warm months transforming the boundary of her grief weather temporarily into something the calendar called pleasant, but she knew was only the other face of her cold. The woman made of weather, carrying her storms, each season of grief in the body that forms around the accumulated cold of the years. The woman made of weather, the pressure, the tears.
The museum keeps its temperature at exactly the cold of the decade from which it abstractly draws its collection, the controlled environment of the preserved and old, maintaining the year of its origins in the air. The visitors descend through the temperature as they move through the floors, the particular cold of each decade arriving on the skin before the objects do the discipline of the museum, the quay and the body's adjustment. The cold museum, keeping the years, each floor a different decades, cold frontiers. You feel the era before you see the thing. The cold museum, remembering everything. I stood in the room of the century's middle and felt the particular riddle of that cold on my skin. The temperature of a decade I had not lived, but the literature of its cold was somehow familiar in the body. The cold museum, keeping the years, each floor a different decades, cold frontiers. You feel the era before you see the thing. The cold museum, remembering everything. The oldest room at the bottom was the coldest, the accumulated cold of the boldest and most ancient century in the collection. A cold at the body's detection. Systems received as something older than memory. I stayed in the oldest room until closing, the cold composing itself around me, the closing of the gap between the historical and the personal happening in the cold, the seasonal distance between now and then, dissolved in temperature. The cold museum, keeping the years, each floor a different decades, cold frontiers. You feel the era before you see
across the ice, making the smoothing of his trade impossible. The winter, turning his profession into a splinter of purpose lodged in the cold month's refusal. He walked the ice each morning, checking thickness. The old man and the river's winter quickness of freezing, having established a long acquaintance of mutual understanding. The song between them, one of patience and professional respect. The ferryman's winter, waiting for the thaw. His boat pulled up according to the law of ice and of patience and the river's cold will. The ferryman's winter, patient and still. The passengers who needed crossing in winter found other ways. The cold splinter of the season, rerouting them by bridge or by the long way round the ridge that the summer's easy crossing had made unnecessary. The ferryman's winter, waiting for the thaw. His boat pulled up according to the law of ice and of patience and the river's cold will. The ferryman's winter, patient and still. He used the winter months to tend the boat, the caulking and the painting, the remote, and careful work of maintenance that the busy season never allowed. The easy competence of the craftsman given room to work. By March the ice had cracked along the center, the river insisting on its re-enter into motion, and the ferryman was ready. The boat repainted, the oars steady in their locks, the crossing beginning again. The ferryman's winter, waiting for the thaw. His boat pulled up according to the law of ice and of patience and the river's cold will. The ferryman's winter, patient and still.
trees that grew back after the burning are not the same trees. The returning of the forest, a different entity from the one, the fire's immensity, consumed in the summer of the great heat. But the forest remembers the fire in its roots, the particular system of the shoots that grew from the char-rich soil, holding the chemical memory, the folding of the burn into the new growth's very nature. The forest that remembers fire, growing from shore, its new trees fed by what the old ones are, now reduced to the beautiful dark exchange. The forest that remembers fire in its range. I walk the regenerated forest on the hill where the fire had run, the particular skill of the young trees in their spacing, telling the story of the fire, the swelling of life in the places where the burn was hottest. The forest that remembers fire, growing from shore, its new trees fed by what the old ones are, now reduced to the beautiful dark exchange. The forest that remembers fire in its range. The fire-dependent plants had come first, the seeds that required the burning to meet the heat threshold of their germination, the ones that had been waiting in the duns and browns of the forest floor for exactly this. The forest that remembers fire is more diverse than the one that came before, the burning, the catastrophe, having opened the canopy, the previously enclosed and deep in shade, giving way to something newly possible. The forest that remembers fire, growing from shore, its new trees fed by what the old ones are, now reduced to the beautiful dark exchange. The forest that remembers fire in its range.
The vault has grown beyond its first dark walls. The collection spreading through the halls of the internet's perpetual night. The songs finding their particular light in the darkness of someone's 3 a.m. somewhere. We built this thing song by song. The careful architecture of the dark.
The prayer-like attention given to each verse, each chorus, each refrain. The universe of the Gothic imagination. One song, larger each time.
The Gothic vault expands into the night. Each song a room, each room a different light. Made from darkness, made from what we keep. The Gothic vault expands, and the dark runs deep.
The listener who finds it in the cold of their particular winter, the old and ordinary darkness of their specific 3 a.m. Discovering the specific beauty of the vault, waiting in the dark for them.
The Gothic vault expands into the night. Each song a room, each room a different light. Made from darkness, made from what we keep. The Gothic vault expands, and the dark runs deep. We make this for the ones who need the dark, made beautiful who need the moth. Of someone else having found the same cold country and made music from it, the voluntary companionship of the aesthetics of the shadow. The vault will outlast every one of us who made it or who listened to fuss of particular lives dissolving while the music continues in its dark and intrinsic beauty, patient in the archive for whoever comes. The Gothic vault expands into the night. Each song a room, each room a different light. Made from darkness, made from what we keep. The Gothic vault expands, and the dark runs deep.
Gothic Vault. Thank you for watching.